What's going on, everybody? My name is Jaden Mendez, and today I'm going to be talking to you about breeding betta fish, or betta fish, however you like to say it. We are looking at my female betta fish, Larry, right now, who I'm currently preparing for breeding. So today I'd like to talk to you about preparing your fish for breeding, and this is the first step in everything that I'm going to. And today I'm going to try and break it down and talk to you about everything you need to know regarding breeding. So, betta fish are very, very interesting fish when breeding. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the steps I use to prepare them physically to get ready to breed. So, this is my 10-gallon community tank. These are my 5 neon tetras and my sponge filter. I've got some snails and a couple shrimp. There's one right there. You can kind of see him. And that's a ghost shrimp. Now, these are Indian almond catappa leaves. These Indian almond catappa leaves are used to release tannins, which can reduce the stress of your fish and also induces them into breeding and gets them ready for breeding. And so I've got Larry in here. You can see the water is clear, but it's kind of tinted brown, and that brown tint releases lots of nice tannins, which are very beneficial to the fish. And so this is going to kind of stimulate her once she's ready into breeding. Okay, I have moved over to my breeding tank that I've just put my male betta fish, Hernando, into. Isn't he beautiful? The male betta fish are the big, long-finned, pretty ones. Hernando is a veiled-tail male betta fish. And these fish originate in Vietnam, Thailand, in that area. And they've been domesticated and are continually brought over to the United States. I hate seeing the betta fish in cups, but today I've got them in a smaller tank, which I know I don't really love. But this smaller tank is only used for breeding. So, you guys may be wondering, why the plastic wrap on top of the tank? So, when I've got this heater in here, the temperature in my room is much lower than the actual fish tank itself. Actually, it's only about a 5 degrees difference. I've got the heater in here, but you can kind of see in the back there. Yeah, there it is. It is set to 80 degrees, which is perfect for breeding and for the live young that the fish will produce. And you can see all the condensation on the side of the tank up here, which means that all that heat and water vapor is staying in the tank, and that keeps it all on the underneath side of this plastic. This is a sponge filter, which is going out about 1 to 3 air bubbles per second, which just keeps good oxygen in the tank. And the bacteria that's inside these filters is good for breaking down the ammonium that the fish produce in their urine and feces or poop. And you may be also wondering what the vase is for. The vase will come later in the breeding, and when you introduce a male and female betta fish together, they will try and kill each other if you don't condition them to one another. I've also got some fake plants in here that are just gonna kind of keep the fish able to hide from each other. Like I said, a lot of people wouldn't know that the actual name of the betta fish is Siamese fighting fish. And these fish are ruthless. They're predators. They kill their food to eat it, and they will attack and kill each other. To start, you want to have the male in the tank all fattened up. And like I said, they will need bloodworms or brine shrimp or anything to get them fattened up, full of eggs, and ready to go. This male, he's pretty big right now. I'm going to get him some more live food, but he is pretty good. But he will be in the tank ready to go, and we're ready to breed, and they're all fattened up. I'm going to put Larry, my female, in the vase so that they can get used to each other, but they're not able to touch each other and actually kill each other. And I've also got some dry Indian catappa almond leaves that I've got in here that are slowly releasing tannins. I didn't boil these because I wanted it to slowly release those tannins. I didn't want any loss of tannins in the boiling water in the cool down. I've also got some bubble wrap. And what people don't know is that betta fish have a very, very interesting breeding style. So when you put them together and they finally get used to each other inside the tank, you can release them and the fish will do what is called the embrace. And the embrace is when the male fish wraps around the female fish, which is full of eggs. She's full of eggs and ready to breed. And he'll actually squeeze them out of her belly. And the male has already built what they call a bubble nest, which I've got this plastic here so that the bubble nest can sit underneath it and it won't lose. The bubbles won't come off the surface, but the bubbles will all have a place to go. And the fish will also have a general location that he knows the bubble nest is always here. It will never get destroyed. It's always lost. It's never lost, excuse me. And so when he squeezes out the eggs, they'll fall to the bottom. And that's also why I don't have any gravel or anything on the bottom. It's just a clean glass bottom. The eggs will fall to the bottom and they will be fertilized at this time. They also fertilize the eggs while they're wrapped around them. He'll take the eggs and put each egg in its own individual bubble, which is going to sit right underneath this bubble wrap. And as the fish grows, I think you just got something right there. As the fish grows and the embryo forms and continues to grow, the male will watch over it. And you have to take the female out because after they breed, the female will try and eat the eggs sometimes. And she's also very aggressive. The male will try and kill her too, so it's just better. And the male will take care of the eggs. If the fish finally hatch and they're staying up in the bubble nest because it's their place of safety, it's their nest, if one falls down to the bottom, the male will pick them up and put them back in the bubble nest, and he'll take care of it. So today I've got the male. I just introduced him to this new breeding tank. He's going around. He's getting a little crazy. He is trying to get used to the tank. And you may be asking, you know, I've got all this room up here. Why don't I have any water in here? Why am I not filling it all the way up? And so like I said, when the eggs fall down, when they're breeding and the male has to put them in the bubble nest, it's much easier to have him go from here to here versus finding the eggs down here and bringing them all the way up to the surface of the water. So it's much easier. And this is how they breed in the wild naturally, is in very short, shallow streams where they don't have to do a lot of work. And so that wraps up today. I'm going to let them eat and get more fattened up. I'm going to let Hernando here get used to his new tank. I'm also going to let Larry get used to her new tank over there and try and get her big and fattened up, ready to go. And in the next couple days when they're ready, I'm going to introduce Larry and put her into the vase. And I'm going to keep that water cycled out so it's not just stagnant water. And I'll have them ready to go. So this is Jaden, and I thank you. This is my introduction on how to breed betta fish, and we'll start the next step very soon.